Story time. So after we were born, we didn't really have to argue with other people, with our parents or with anyone to prove that we are right, to prove that, we are value and that we are worthy. We didn't have to fight to prove that. After we were born, we were just kind of under the assumption that we were accepted the way that we were accepting what was happening in the moment. I mean, like, if we needed our diaper to be changed, if we needed to eat, and if we were uncomfortable, we would trip out, right? But other than that, we were just taking life as it comes. We had not yet been programmed to be on the offense or the defense, or to fight, scream, and yell in order to prove that we are right. But then over time, some of us started to notice that adults lie. Going to your family's house or going places with your parents or family members or whatever, and, they're talking crap about a family member, or they're talking crap about so-and-so, and the next thing you know, you're at the gathering and everybody's all friends and besties. Or when you're watching TV or watching a movie, and you see adults lying, or when, so we were taught to lie, and we just saw it happening, and some of us started to lie too, which it's kind of natural. It's what you're programmed to do. Somebody say, hey, how you doing today? I'm good. Meanwhile, you feel like crap. We were taught to lie in a very subtle way. It's part of the conditioning and programming of this collective. But as children and teenagers, some of us sometimes got caught in those lies. And sometimes our parents would just label us as a liar. You're a liar. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. And especially if the parent themselves was lying to themselves and lying to other people as well, sometimes they would project that heavily onto you, especially if they had already caught you in a lie, right? So then you just started to be known or seen or labeled by your parents and other people as a liar. So then we just started to always really, really go hard with trying to prove that we are right from that moment forward. It became a strong pattern and habit because we didn't want people to think we were lying. We know how it feels to be, accused of lying. And this leads sometimes to a habit of just arguing all the way until the other person admits that we're right, which causes us to drain our energy. And it's really foreign to us. It's not how we started off. We were programmed to operate this way in a way, especially if your parents and caretakers do the same thing, fight tooth and nail just to make sure you admit that they are right. Especially if you were raised by family members or parents who hated being wrong and couldn't deal with the trigger of being incorrect. But then we woke up. Some of us woke up to being beyond those patterns and habits, to being able to see the emotions that come up within us and the thoughts, and to no longer identify with those patterns and habits. And some of us woke up just by having children because we love our kids so much, and we started to notice the pattern and habit emerging with them. And it's like, whoa, I don't want to fight like this with my child. I don't want to scream at my child like this just so that they know I'm the boss and that I'm right and they're wrong. We started to wake up to that pattern not feeling good to us. And so now we are breaking that cycle. And it can feel very hard in the moment, because the pattern is so strong to try to prove that we're right and they're wrong, to try to prove that we are valid, that we're telling the truth and that we are right. And so what's helped me break that pattern with my own child is to not engage with them when I'm triggered, to notice that I'm triggered and to fall back, and to remember that my daughter and I are on the same team. So I don't need to ever talk to her like she's my opposition, or like she is against me, or like she would ever be against me. And to have faith and to trust that she trusts me and she accepts me and she believes what I'm sharing with her. But one of the key things is to notice when you're triggered and to fall back, to give yourself permission to not engage in conversations with others and your children when you are in a state that is feeling like a victim of the moment, of the situation, of the conversation. Give yourself permission to go regulate before you communicate, because a lot of these patterns we were programmed and conditioned with only really are in operation through you when you are not regulated. So the key is to focus on staying regulated and centered as much as you can throughout the day. You don't ever have to prove that you're right. You just have to speak your truth. The people meant to love and accept you will. You are free to live a life where you don't have to argue at all with anyone ever again, including your child. Just give yourself permission to be the one that becomes acutely aware of when the conversation is going downhill, and give yourself permission to be the one that notices it, calls it out, and says, we can reconvene when I'm feeling more regulated.